Preocuparse. Preocuparse. Huh. Preocuparse. This is not a phrase either, but because we have this, technically it can be a phrase. Why? Because that is a reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns can go, they can be attached to verbs in Spanish, or they can be placed at the front of a verb, before a verb. Me preocupo, te preocupas, él se preocupa, yo me preocupo, okay? So it kind of becomes a little phrase, and that's why we're talking about this verb today. Preocupar is a verb. This is technically the verb, right? When you add se at the end, that means that you can use reflexive pronouns. And most Spanish verbs can work with reflexive pronouns. Just so you know. Just so you know. Okay, so what's the meaning of this? The meaning of this verb is to be worried or to worry. That's it. That's it. It's a simple verb, and that's the meaning of this verb. Essentially, when you're worried, you're feeling worried because something's happening or something will happen, or if you worry just because, I don't know, in general, you can worry about so many things. So let's see if this verb is regular. Let me see. It is regular, so that's good. That's good. That means that it doesn't have a peculiar conjugation. You can follow the grammatical rules to conjugate preocupar, preocuparse, and so on. Yeah. Easy conjugation. Okay, so let's look at some examples using preocuparse. Me preocupa que Miguel no me ha llamado. Me preocupa que Miguel no me ha llamado. This means I'm worried that Miguel hasn't called me yet. Essentially, you're just saying, hey, I haven't heard from Miguel in I don't know how long. He hasn't called me. He hasn't said anything to me. So I'm worried about him. So those things happened. And let's break this down and let's see how this sentence works. Me, that's a reflexive pronoun. Essentially, you're saying I me preocupa. You are feeling worried. I'm worried. You can also say a mí me preocupa. A mí is a phrase that means I, like it just means I. So we're saying I so many times in Spanish. You can say it too many times in Spanish. And it happens. It's perfectly normal. But when you say me, it's similar to me, right? And a mí, you're saying I and me. So it can be confusing, I know. But essentially, when you say me preocupa, that means I'm worried about Miguel in the situation. Me preocupa que, this is to add more to the sentence, okay? Me preocupa que, so I'm worried that Miguel, we have Miguel here as well. No can mean don't. It means no. It means in this situation hasn't, okay? Because we're saying no me ha. So that means hasn't and me. Me, we have me here again. I know. It can be confusing. No ha means hasn't, okay? No ha. And then when you place me, that means me. Okay? Llamado. Llamado, called. Okay? He hasn't called me. Me preocupa que Miguel no me ha llamado. I'm worried that Miguel hasn't called me yet. Of course, you can add more to this. No me ha llamado hoy. I'm worried that Miguel hasn't called me today. Okay, so you can add that. That's perfectly fine. And that means today. Excellent. Let me just erase all of this. And we have preocupa right here. Comes from this verb. And me is the reflexive pronoun, which technically is this part here. Okay? Me preocupa que Miguel no me ha llamado hoy. I'm worried that Miguel hasn't called me today. That is not good. I hope Miguel calls this person. I mean, it's just I made this up, right? But it just makes you think. It makes you worry for sure if someone says that to you, that someone hasn't called for a long period of time. That's concerning for sure. That's concerning. Okay, now let's see. Let's look at another example using preocuparse. No te preocupes. No te preocupes. Todo estará bien. No te preocupes. Todo estará bien. What's the meaning of this? This means don't worry. Everything will be okay. So that's an amazing phrase that you can say to someone who is feeling worried. You know, if you want to say, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Everything will be okay. This is the sentence you need. This is the phrase you need. Now, let's break this down and let's see how this works. No, as I told you before, it means don't. It depends, of course, on the situation, but it means don't, it means no, it means hasn't, okay? If you say no a, okay? So that's something good to know. No, right here, means don't, okay? Te preocupes. Te is a reflexive pronoun. You're saying to someone, don't worry, okay? No te preocupes. Don't worry. So just you're saying this to one person, okay? If you want to say this to a group of people, you would have to say, no se preocupen. No se preocupen. You're saying that to a group of people. But if you say no te preocupes, that means don't worry. By the way, this is informal. If you want to make this formal, then you can say no se preocupe. No se preocupe. That's very formal. And you're saying, you know, don't worry. Don't worry. In a formal way. Okay, let's keep it informal for now. No te preocupes. Don't worry. Todo. Todo means all or everything. Okay, everything. Estará. Estará comes from the verb estar, which means to be. Estará is future tense. So that's why we have here will be. Todo estará. Everything will be bien. Okay. Bien means good as well. But when you're saying todo estará bien, that means everything will be okay. So that by itself is a phrase that means everything will be okay. Todo estará bien. Everything will be okay. Excellent. Remember, preocuparse means to be worried or to worry about something.